Hey everybody, welcome to Strange Times. My name is Christoph and alongside me is...
Brianna. Hey guys, what's up?
What's going on, Sleepy Hollow girl? How you been?
Good. We just got back from New York.
We did. We saw New York. It's been a while. It's fun. It's a fun city.
Different?
Very crowded city. A lot of people.
Yeah. Last time we went, we didn't have kids.
That's true. We were
So
childless.
New York this time around was very touristy, besides going to Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow. As a person, we saw a show on
very
the person.
touristy tourist trip.
For the sake of this show, I'm sure people were interested. Tell us how Sleepy Hollow was. The brief window that we were there for.
Well, I definitely recommend going longer and getting a babysitter. I mean, kids there are fine. I just think that if they're not really into like the spooky
stuff.
the spooky vibe, then it's just kind of not like it just doesn't hit the spot.
Yeah.
But the show was really good. I thought it was well done. And if you guys are looking for recommendations, you could email us and we'll give you information to the show that we saw and some other things you should do while you're there. I wish there was a little bit more things to do. Like I feel like in Salem when we went last year, there was so many things to do. And I feel like in Sleepy Hollow, there was a few, like visit the graveyard, do a couple tours. We learned that Sleepy Hollow isn't even really a thing. They pretty much made it up.
Yeah, so to step back, Sleepy Hollow, I don't know how many people know what Sleepy Hollow is, but it's the Headless Horseman was that poem that everybody knows, Headless Horseman, everybody's familiar with.
Short story.
But that took place in what's called in the story Sleepy Hollow. I don't know if you're familiar with
AKA
it.
Terrytown.
But it's really a town right outside of freaking New York called Terrytown. I would say, like, go longer, but don't go longer, because I found, if I'm being candid with you, I was a little disappointed with the lack of stuff, right? There's a cemetery that's very famous, and it's
But it's like
old-timey.
closed after hours. So we should have really had gone a lot earlier, went to the cemetery.
Yeah.
I think when I had got the recommendations to book the tour that we did or the show that we did, it was supposed to be taking place in the cemetery. That's what I was told. So I thought, this is it. Like we're getting
covered.
everything in one shot. And it ended up being at the writer's house, his
Irving,
estate.
Washington. Yeah.
Washington Irving, right?
Yes. I believe. Irving, Washington? One of those two. Whoops. Let's look it up before we...
He, at his house. So literally like, you could, if you got there, like we planned on getting there early because you can go and do a walkthrough of his house. They made it like into a museum. So it's right.
Washington Irving. Sorry. Yeah.
Washington Irving. So it's pretty cool to, check out his house and you do like a museum. But because of traffic, I mean, we left literally 2 hours before our show was supposed to start and we barely got there on time. We thought we'd at least have like 30 minutes to poke around. I thought we can go into Washington Irving's house and check out, the museum they have there. And time was just tight. So it's like if you're going to go visit New York, do you make that extra trip to stay overnight in Sleepy Hollow? I don't know if it would be truly worth it if you want a really chill, casual day. Because even like the restaurants, the street like vendors and stuff like that wasn't that like the gift shops were kind of cute, but I mean there's not a lot to do unless you're just going tour after tour after tour after tour. So yeah, so I do wish we had more time. We almost went back like, the next day because I really wanted I'm a sucker for like old cemeteries. And so like I really wanted to just kind of like hang out and have a picnic in the cemetery. So we unfortunately didn't get to do that. But all in all, the show that we saw, I thought the actor was fantastic.
It was a fun little show. They recited the poem and all that stuff, or
like
short story, whatever.
The show was very like old fashioned. Like it almost took you back to that like 17th century era of like where shows would be done with like puppets and things like that.
Yeah.
And so they had puppets in the show, and really only one actor, and I loved that about it. And he was so animated, and he just told the story so well, and he did these different voices. So I can't say enough about like what a great performance that
it's
he
fun.
put on. But yeah, I wish that maybe would have done one more tour, like one.
I
more
think this
tour.
if you're going spooky season recommendation as we are doing. It seems like an annual tradition now. This year we visit a spot. I would say make New York the main attraction, and maybe book a cemetery tour, and maybe the poem reading, and I think you're good. I think you're good.
Yeah.
There's not a lot else.
A lot of stuff, because it's a very small town in Terrytown.
Tiny.
Everything closes extremely early. So yeah, you just have to be mindful of that. You have to go extremely early to make sure you're not going to get stuck in traffic, because everybody comes to this small town during this time of year. It's kind of like what happens in Salem. The population is very small there, and there's just, millions of people that come to this tiny little place. And so the traffic is just kind of wild. So yeah, you got to be mindful of that. And so that's why,
Very demure.
You might need to maybe stay overnight.
I mean, it's fun. It's like a little town.
Chaos,
I would say if you're going to stay overnight, make it like we're going to a little town, more than like this is the epitome of like spooky season Halloween stuff, because it's not going to be that. There's cool buildings, there's old buildings, there's like there's a cemetery with like a bunch of old.
The churches are very beautiful and ancient.
Yeah, the old churches, all that shit. It's like it's quaint little small town. So I would definitely stay overnight if you want that experience. A quaint little town, fun story, all that good stuff. But we're back. We made it. Wish we would have stuck around to Halloween to see some like that. I know there's like a West Village like parade and stuff that we missed on like actual Halloween, but timing is timing.
They have some like mazes, like with like characters.
Oh, in New York?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I saw there was like a Jimmy Fallon one. I was like, oh.
No, there's other ones. There's other ones too that kind of looked kind of cool. But again, it's like when you have a kid and all that kind of stuff, like in a couple years, maybe she'll be into that. But, but I have to say, as far as architecture goes, like I really love the St. Patrick's Cathedral. Very neo-Gothic, and
it's very elaborate and big.
That was phenomenal to see, religious or not. And also we went to the public library, which is funny because I was like telling some of my clients, they're like, oh, you went to a library, and I was like, honey, let me show you the public library. And she just was blown away. She was like, that's their library there. And I told her it was actually a research library, which we learned while we were there, but still worth a visit. And that fun. And the cathedral are really close to each other, so you can like knock those out like within an hour.
Plus they shot scenes at Ghostbusters in front of that New York Public Library.
Well, yeah, and the Godfather was shot at the church.
I've never seen the Godfather.
Cathedral. I've seen
through and through. I've seen it
parts of it. I think I was too young
to
like fully watch it, because it scared me with the horse scene. But
yeah, so I think that got us geared up towards Halloween. We're almost there. We'll probably release this right before Halloween, so we won't have an official Halloween episode. Maybe we'll have a November All Souls Day spooky season, post spooky season All Souls Day episode to celebrate this time of year. When apparently across the world, including paganism, the portals to the dead start opening up around this time of year. So maybe.
Did you know that?
I did not know
that Halloween originated in Ireland.
I've heard rumblings of that. Yeah, there's like that's one of the predominant theories is that it was. Yeah,
I mean, other people will say that no, it's indigenous and whatever.
I think it's taken. There's a lot of different things it's taken from.
Yeah,
right.
But I feel like considered how the Irish were treated, they were kind of treated like indigenous people by the Brits too. So it's kind of like they have their own like folklore and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting and fascinating to like do some research on that. And they were saying how they used to carve turnips back in Ireland, and then when they came over here, it was like, oh, they they like figured out pumpkins were a lot easier to carve. And yeah, I just think that's kind of little Fun facto, interesting fact.
Fun facto de facto. Yeah, no, I've watched a few documentaries on like the origins of Halloween, but you know, that's all escaped my brain. I can't retain anything these days. But I think I'm ready for Halloween.
Do you have your costume?
Well, there's one thing that I need to grab. I need to make sure I get it in time. Mm-hmm. You know Werther's, right? The candy, candy genius is behind the old people candy caramels, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they're actually creating some innovation. You think they're stuck in their ways, they're just for the olds. They're actually creating some real innovation. And I'm hoping that this is released and I can get it in time for Halloween. Because Werther's Candy is apparently introducing some jeans which have 30 pockets. And all those 30 pockets will help you hold a caramel. So there's 30 caramel pockets.
I'm trying to look at the picture.
In one jeans. You want to see it? And it's pretty stylish. We'll post it. We'll post it right here on the...
That's so stupid. It's not stylish.
But
with no disrespect to our foreign countries that listen to our podcast.
Okay.
It looks like something a foreigner would wear.
So it's literally, well, again, if you're
very European,
if you're a video listener, we'll definitely post it. But there's literally, it's like on each side is just rung with pockets, little mini pockets. I would imagine that this is gonna be more for like, this is not
a toddler.
A toddler for drugs.
They can put all their toys in each little pocket, like.
Well, I am like a toddler. It won't be just caramels for me. I'll have some, some Abba Zabbas, some Snickers. I think it's a brilliant idea. Are you gonna order me these jeans? Does it say how much they are?
If it's ridiculous, no. You wouldn't even let me.
If it's ridiculous, maybe I would.
Okay, well, if they're like $200, you want them?
Oh, you win it through a sweepstakes?
Oh, lucky you.
Like Willy Wonka, but for pockets.
Oh, how lucky.
Oh, limited edition pair of jeans. Wonder why they're not mass producing it. What a surprise. But I think this will help. I do think this will help, especially brighten up my Halloween spirit. I'm in a little bit of a Halloween lull, so I need something like this.
Halloween lump?
Lull.
What's that?
I think...
You know what it is?
It's seasonal depression is what it is.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think that the overhype of Halloween...
Oh, it's like everywhere. And I think a lot of people are over it.
And yeah, it's like just, I feel like people are in a weird competition to see who likes Halloween more than the other person.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why we've started doing this. Uh-oh. I can hear myself again.
Yeah, that worked.
I feel like we've started doing this thing where we're kind of like overstimulated with the California version of Halloween. And
what's the California version to you?
It's like Halloween Haunt, Horror Nights.
Oh, like
it's like all the same shit. It's like the pumpkin patch we wanted to go to, we couldn't go to because there's too many fucking people.
Those fucking people.
So it's like I feel like it's all regurgitated. It's all the same stuff we do every year, and it's like, and I'm all about tradition, but you kind of leaves you with like, I want more. I want something new. And so yeah, going to Salem was a really nice touch last year, and it
also felt like fall in Salem. It doesn't feel like fall in California.
It was so yes, and
it just doesn't.
And then New York also, like it was, it's like not even just the Sleepy Hollow experience. So it was pretty cool. And then we went to like the Ghostbusters headquarters there in New York, and so I kind of like this thing that we're doing, like we used to
travel season
we used to go to New Orleans every year for Halloween, which was phenomenal.
Number one Halloween town for me, at least.
You think so?
For me, yeah.
For me, because there's a lot. Salem
there's a lot more to do. There's a let's talk real here. Salem is a fun town, and there is some mysticism to it, and there's a lot of like New England lore with the winters, especially if you read like any kind of like H.P. Lovecraft stuff or Poe stuff. There's like this whole East Coast, like that Eastern seaboard, like mysticism to it. But New Orleans has a natural kind of superstition and mysticism, and it's also a party town. So I mean, I remember when we went, like we would have 7 days worth of costumes, and it would just there was a lot more to do. Salem is very nice, and they definitely like they're playing
But
off
you
the
have
Halloween
to also
vibe.
remember, like I think
What do I have to remember?
when we went to New Orleans, we had no children and we didn't go with children. So we were able to do the
look at children.
Adult, it was all adult life for us. So it was like we went to like bondage vampire balls and, you know, did wild, unheard of, unspeakable things in the streets and just, you know, like it was a very adult trip. And I feel like in Salem, you know, there was this line wrapped around this building and there was like a vampire ball going on there. And so I'm sure that would have been
even that
really
seemed like
great.
Like we saw what was like we asked people what it was and they said a vampire. It looked tame compared to what was probably floating around in New Orleans.
Maybe in New Orleans because it's like the Anne Rice, you know, stigma there. It's like everybody thinks it's like the vampire capital.
Yeah.
Maybe it has that like, ooh, you know, like vampires, you know. But I feel like I love it. It is like in my top, but I feel like Salem is the Halloween town. You walk down the street, everything is Halloween. In New Orleans,
but they're kind of playing
not,
up to. But
you
no,
know?
But New Orleans. Here's the thing about New Orleans, and we're having a debate over which is a better Halloween town, and I think both are great.
Give us your guys' opinion.
I think they're number one and number two for sure. But in terms of New Orleans, it checks a lot of boxes, right? You have a lot of revelry. That was part of what I love about Halloween is the eccentricism and the creativity. You have a fucking parade. Mm-hmm. You could either party or not party. You have above ground, you know, cemeteries, mausoleums and stuff like that. You have voodoo. You have fucking all kinds of this.
I will say,
it's an old city. Like
in the gay district, the fucking best costumes I've ever seen in my life.
Amazing. It's all amazing. But Salem gives it's more of a
but I still think maybe we need to do this. Maybe we need to go just me and you to Salem because New Orleans was a drunken brawl. It was literally
we never got
party
in a fight, brawl.
Like it was just like a drunk brigade. Like it was like drunk, like time traveling drunk, hanging out with homeless gypsies, partying with them
with
all
the Halloween
night,
vibe.
like just doing stuff that we wouldn't normally do.
Sure,
you know, in the shadows, and so and then like losing my wallet, losing my cameras, like losing and not even giving a fuck afterwards because we had such a good time. I was like, I don't even fucking care. It was such a great night, you know. So it's like I don't think we didn't have enough time in Salem to I think like really feel that. And then it's like the whole time we're like, how can we make this trip better for our kid? You know, what would she like to do? What would she like?
Of course.
You know,
we're at a different state. That doesn't mean that Salem is a better Halloween town than New Orleans.
So, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like in a sober aspect, if you're just like, you know, it feels like Halloween there. Like you feel like that. I know you were never a big Hocus Pocus fan.
No.
But like the scene when they're the scene where they're like actually going trick or treating, those houses there, it's like, oh my God, like this would be my nostalgia of like the dream of me trick or treating in this neighborhood. Like, so I just look at it as like, and then when you do see the fall leaves and
it's cool
how colorful and you really feel like it's fall there. Like, I don't know.
And
like
also,
the people are so fun. I mean, the people in New Orleans
nice.
are very fucking friendly too.
Yeah.
Like we're hanging out with the homeless people. Like you're dealing with some friendly people. Like,
yeah.
So
I get it. No, and Salem is a safer town. New Orleans has a very bad reputation for, you know, getting your shit stolen or getting.
And I think that's where it kind of lost me. Like each time we went back, did we go 2 or 3 times?
We went 3 times, I think, right?
Yeah. And I feel like by that third time, there was a fidelity, like right where we were at.
What'd you say?
Is it fatality? Fatality.
I learned everything from Mortal Kombat. No, it's fatality.
I felt like after we saw the caution tape up, and you know, all I wanted was French fries, and I was fighting you about that.
Yeah.
I just was kind of like, wow, we were here just 30 minutes ago and
I hear you.
Somebody got shot and you know the homeless people were starting to get more aggressive and hey, like they have every right to. A lot of them like lost everything in Katrina, and they still have nothing. Their homes are still
There's
underground.
not a lot to New Orleans these
So
days.
yeah, so it's a different vibe.
Sure.
It's not the people's fault at all, but it's just different. It doesn't feel as that first time we went as safe, So that was like, kind of sad. And like you're, saying about Salem, it's just feels so safe.
It's very safe.
And I feel like because we're older and we have a kid and we were sober the entire time,
yeah,
you want to feel that way.
Sure.
But it gave me that warm and fuzzy feeling of Halloween.
Yeah.
When you looked around, you felt like this is Halloween,
What I'll say to, like, one thing that, I really apologize because I'm sure there's some real Salem witch enthusiasts out there. What I'll say is that I think they do, like, if you go to Salem, you grow a little. At least I grew a little bit tired of the Salem witch trial stories, right? I'm not trying to be insensitive, and I think it's important, especially when you talk about like
females.
Yeah, if it's like
because they're females.
Because they actually had a voice, and it was awful. And I'm with everybody on that was a bunch of men trying to be paranoid and murdering because they were afraid of like women actually gaining power and having a voice in the system. But after you've heard the witch story about 13 people dying, the 20th time, you're like, okay, come on, let's learn something new. That's the only thing I will say about Salem. If you're like,
there was
a few other things.
We had taken a tour.
Yes,
that was like it was like old history and ghosts and stuff like that. So it wasn't strictly about the witches.
Strychnine.
So.
I mean, I would just fair
like
warning. If you go to Salem,
you can go to New Orleans and be like, "Oh, all I do is talk about voodoo." There's a lot of fucking voodoo.
Yeah,
voodoo. It's everywhere.
And I don't want to sound insensitive, but 13 people died
about the voodoo.
150 years ago, and it's just, I don't know. It's important. It's definitely an important marker in history, and it's definitely a lesson about paranoia and kind of the importance of, breaking free from the sexism of especially early colonialism. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I love the idea.
Yeah.
Of going to a Halloween town.
It's fun. I had a blast in Salem. I had a blast in New Orleans. I had a blast in New York. I feel like
there's something for everybody.
But where is next? Do we have to go overseas? Is there another Halloween town that we're missing? I don't know.
I think if we go
Cleveland
you want to go to the whatchamacallit hotel.
That would be cool. Stanley is truly, if you're not a skeptic, it's a haunted ass place, for sure.
Are we staying the night there?
Hell yeah! Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, we've done Queen Mary. We actually did the Queen Mary. What is it called? Dark Harbor.
Yeah, we did Queen Mary.
Womp womp.
And that was we've done
okay.
That. It was
not. I don't want to say.
Oh, you mean this year's?
Yeah,
we didn't stay overnight.
Fine.
We've stayed overnight.
Yeah. But just knowing that you're going through mazes on the Queen Mary is kind of creepy.
Okay,
cool.
so that boiler room. So there was I'm getting shivers. Just thinking about. They did take us. So I don't know. I'm sure if people know, Queen Mary is a notoriously, allegedly haunted ship that's just docked in Long Beach in perpetuity until it goes in the ocean because they're not really repairing it too much. But we went to like a Halloween event there recently, and as part of that, one of the secret bar things that you get tokens for anyways, it's like a whole like gimmick. But they take you down to the boiler room where it's just you're technically below the ocean, and it's rusted out and dark.
That's great.
You just feel it, and like I just felt like I felt like the ship was gonna cave in any moment. And I was gonna be surrounded by dark. It freaked the fuck out of me.
Like the oldness of it. There is something.
Just thinking about it's giving me shivers right now.
There's something about the Queen Mary that like draws me to it. Maybe
yeah,
because I'm such a Titanic fan. I love staying overnight there. The old rustiness doesn't bother me. I fucking love that ship. And that's why I'm so mad that Dark Harbor sucked, because I was just like, ugh, you're going to make me say something bad about my ship.
It's your ship now?
It's my ship.
Would you buy it if you were like a gazillionaire? Would you buy the Queen Mary? What would you do with it? Would you keep it as a...
I want to keep it as close to the way it looks now, but it definitely needs a new paint job. We got to get rid of that rustiness on the steps and the corrosion.
Oh, that's corrosive. Corrosive metal and water. It's
But it's such a like. I remember going there as a kid.
Yeah, I don't remember going there as a kid.
It's so iconic.
It's
the haunting
iconic
stuff stands out to me as a kid too. I remember the lady in the white dress. They talk about her when I was a kid in the in the 80s. And I would definitely keep that ship up and running. For sure.
Did you feel anything this past time? I know you think that you felt stuff and you felt uneasy.
No, not this last time.
Too many.
I was too pissed off. I was too upset.
You're upset.
They didn't even let us. Their public restrooms were fucking porta potties.
Yeah, there wasn't a public restroom. It was just And by the end of the night, you had to use it, and it was scary. A disaster scene. Scarier than anything on the ship or any of the mazes or any of that stuff. That was real life danger. Maybe more dangerous than New Orleans, but
if we don't go to any other places in the U.S., I think Romania is going to be. We've been wanting to go there for years.
If you're listening and you have any other ideas on great, maybe Key West. Isn't Key West it's like a irreverent kind of New Orleans for Florida? Maybe we go to but Key West is not. I don't think it's for kids. I think it has like a Bourbon Street vibe. I think.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Maybe that's
We've gone to the Tower of London, which is.
Yeah.
We didn't. Did we? I think we did do the Jack the Ripper tour, but I don't remember. We were so young.
That too.
That's kind of cool.
Fascinated by Jack the Ripper, but also too
they totally ham it up.
They ham it up, and we're like, 5-6 people died 200 years ago. I hate to be so insensitive, but it's like the
fascinating part is just they never caught him. So that's where
that's the part that is the intrigue.
Who was it?
And he was early.
Was it political? Was he some type of higher up? That people covered up like P. Diddy.
Yeah, we should go to the H.H. Holmes. If we go to Chicago, we should go to you remember H.H. Holmes, right? The murder castle.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes.
So we should go to that spot.
Oh man.
They tore it down, so it's gonna be just ground. I don't know if it's like a Burger King now or something. It's probably like a CVS or a hollowed out Rite Aid because Rite Aid is also. I don't think
even if it was still intact, I would be comfortable going. Maybe I would go in the lobby. I don't think I could go through the rooms.
What if they renovated the rooms?
No.
Would you stay?
I don't know.
I think it'd be tacky. I would feel like disrespectful if I was staying in those rooms.
Yeah.
If they
I would feel wrong.
They took out the slides and they took out the gas chamber shit and all that stuff. I don't think I could stay. You don't have
the Tower of London? There was definitely haunted vibes there though.
There was a feeling.
And there was actual scratches on the wall from the people from.
Yeah, that was genuinely this is uneasy because people are just people. There was torture, torture till you died. It was.
But I think that's our thing now. Is I think it's just striving and taking this podcast on the road with us to these haunted spots.
So it sounds like our next destination is the Stanley Hotel.
Yeah.
I think that's probably good. We'll go to I think they usually have the shining balls and stuff like that.
And then Romania.
Yeah, Romania would be fun.
I've heard so many crazy things. One of my clients, she's Romanian. She was telling me that when she went into even the churches, she felt darkness, and I'm just like, really? I was like, if there's darkness taking over the church, and she even said she felt like she had bad luck after. She said she was in the church all by herself. Her family had left, and she was just looking around the church because it's a beautiful little church. She's taking it all in, right? And then she just said she saw this dark shadow come kind of over, and just the darkness, and she said after that, a lot of bad things happened in her life. And she's just something.
Are you not scared of that? That kind of bringing back the bad from Romania? Because you're much more superstitious in terms of hexes and curses,
but I also have felt I've been in a lot of weird situations, and I've always felt that protection. I feel like I definitely have.
Oh, you're very godly.
Angel. Yeah, I feel like I have protection.
Not me. So got nobody looking out for me.
Oh God.
Is there really what's the?
Loves me.
Where does that come from? The whole guardian angel thing.
The Guardians.
Is it like, does it come? Is it biblical or is it kind of offshoot of biblical stuff? Is there reference to like guardian angels in the Bible?
Good question.
Thank you.
I'm Christian, but a very lazy one. So there you go. As far as I remember, yes. Like as a kid, I remember we always were told that we have angels that take care of us and look after us.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This is just me talking out of my crazy mind. I feel like they're somehow connected to you. Like maybe they were like an ancestor of yours and they watch over you. So
What do you think? Likely, you think your guardian angel is Italian?
maybe Austrian, maybe Spanish.
Well, hopefully it's not too Austrian.
Oh my God.
Not Austrian from around the late 30s, early 40s. Hopefully not that Austrian.
Whatever. They don't identify as that. They're what is it called? Can't even say it. Celestial beings.
What?
Celestial?
Celestial?
Celestial, right?
Celery? I don't know. Words are hard, folks. We're having a lot of trouble with words tonight. Hey, I think I told you this story already, but changing subjects from Halloween. Moving on, we're moving into transition to beautiful Thanksgiving time.
But tell us where you want us to go next.
Yeah, let us know. What's a cool... Let's start out with the U.S. and we'll expand out. Romania is an obvious outshores, and I know Key West is a fun revelry town. Maybe that's a date weekend.
That's 3333. That was really, really good to see. Speaking of angels, I just saw numbers, guys. I just saw guardian.
I'm seeing all kinds
angel
of numbers. I'm seeing a...
Shut the hell up.
2, a
He's gonna
3,
make fun of me now.
a 6.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways,
ADD.
it's okay. We all have it. Getting into a couple stories before we head off into the sunset of tonight. At least we're not dying, guys. That's a weird transition. What the fuck is wrong with you? Did you hear? I think I told you about this, but did you hear about the boss who laid off a staff member because she returned from maternity leave?
No.
Pregnant again?
He should be sued.
A mother has been awarded there you go. Here we go. He was sued. A mother has been awarded over £28,000 in compensation after being dismissed due to her pregnancy.
Yeah.
Nikita Twitchin's a fun last name, was preparing to come back from maternity leave when first grade projects, a building service firm and sponsor of Swansea City Football Club, let her go upon learning she was pregnant again. So she's getting busy. Hired in.
They don't even do it on purpose. Like it's just your body. Like it's more after you have a kid, you're more prone to getting pregnant. It's just science.
Yeah, it's science, dude. Would you so?
It's not even her fault.
And these got like 9.5 months worth of good work still.
And the thing is, she could still work.
She could still work. She could still put in a good. I don't know what the deal is.
What is her job? What was it?
Let's see what she does. She's professional.
Here's my go-to for if you're kind of like, it's different. Like if they're
She's an office admin assistant, so she's like doing paperwork.
Yeah,
sending
he could hire
calendar
somebody
invites.
else out. Like what he could do is just like get somebody.
He could fuck off, is what he could do.
Yeah, but just have somebody like already there that she can like oversee and train. And then, like, if he doesn't want to, like, fire that girl, then he could, just, let them split, where I'm sure she's going to have her hands full with too. Maybe she won't want to work all those hours anyways.
Maybe she should use more hands. She'll get pregnant less.
Oh, my God.
Stick to the hands.
What a dick.
Well, that's what she's taking in. Maybe a little less dick, too. Sorry. I'm happy for her. Congratulations to Nikita. But that sucks. That guy's a dick.
Yeah, like it's not like I'm glad that they passed that law.
Yeah.
They
sued. Well, she sued and she's like, fuck that.
Because it's one of those things where it's like, what if that was a guy? Would you do the same thing to him?
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he got pregnant in a movie once, right?
Stop.
Didn't he?
That was fake.
That wasn't real?
Ew, with What was the one? Was it Twins? Oh no, I'm thinking of Twins.
Twins, yeah. That's a different one.
With Danny DeVito. Gross.
And then there's a real life nannies too, but we won't get into. We're moving off of Austrians. Hey, did you give your pizza review for New York?
Pizza Roof.
Pizza Roof. Did you give your pizza review? I
didn't. And it saddens me to say I did not enjoy the pizza in New York, everybody. This is the first time in my life. I've been to New York at least 4 times. This is the 5th time.
Something like that.
And the food was shit.
Food was all right.
The food was disgusting.
Wasn't exceptional.
I felt disgusted
you got sick. You got burnt from a cart.
By the end of the trip.
Yeah.
I literally threw up one night.
That bagel was good.
That bagel was good in the beginning.
And some of the pizza was good.
But it was just so much carbs and so much bread.
There's a lot of bread in New York.
And it's like you're doing all this walking, which is great, but I just felt disgusted. And it wasn't even like, oh, that pizza was so worth it. There was one spot that was like, this place is pretty good. And it was like $4 a slice. But everywhere else where everybody was raving about, they kept talking about Joe's. Joe's was not that great.
You know, like Joe's.
Well, oh, it tasted kind of burnt. You're like, oh, it's supposed to. Shit. Tastes like shit.
Neapolitan style. All right. Well, I'm sorry. On behalf of the people in New York.
I think my next trip to New York, I'm going to go finer dining for sure.
Wow. Not me.
After my experience,
Keep the trash food for me. Thank you.
No.
Well, I think maybe it sounds like the pizza in New York didn't really blow you away. Maybe Germany's the answer.
Oh.
Because there was a very popular dish, a pizza place in Germany.
Oh no.
The only problem is the secret ingredient was
human
cocaine.
Oh. All right.
Pizza number 40 was long one of the best-selling dishes at the restaurant in the German city of Dusseldorf until police discovered the secret ingredient was a side of cocaine. What, Dusseldorf? You've never heard of Dusseldorf?
Are you being serious?
That's an actual town in Germany. Do you never heard of Dusseldorf?
You know this town.
I know Dusseldorf. I know Dortmund. I think it's all because of like
all I'm thinking
my love
of
for soccer.
is
football, as they say in Germany. What? Have we lost you?
From Harry Potter, isn't it?
Dumbledore. No, it's not the town of Dumbledore. One's a wizard, one's a town.
That's literally
You know Dumbledore did some fucking cocaine in his time.
You know he's from Germany too.
He's from Germany and he did a shitload of cocaine. He was going to this pizza place.
I can't.
Authorities say uncovering the illicit narcotics delivery scheme allowed them to smash an organized crime ring in Germany's most popular state, North Rhine-Westphalia. Well, about 150 officers, including from elite units last week, searched 16 properties in 9 cities, arrested 3 suspects, and seized caches of weapons, the news agency reported. So apparently, I think it was like it was a secret code. You would order a pizza, and then they would be like, yeah, wink, wink, pizza, here you go. And it would just come with a side of cocaine.
What was the wink, wink? What was your password?
I don't know. Number 40, the pizza number 40.
Oh. Can you imagine, like, just ordering that and not knowing?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I haven't tried this one yet. Let's what's this white stuff?
Yeah, what is this? Shit. I didn't ask for this much
some
salt.
extra flour.
What is this? Let's snort it. It was one of the most sold pizzas. Yeah, of course. A packet of cocaine was placed under each pie.
That's pretty
That
brilliant.
was new to us and surprised us because the owner had never been accused of drug crime. So the owner seemed on the up and up. The pizzeria's advertising slogan was, "We deliver everything home to you." It was not immediately clear what the business charged for number 40 or what its toppings were. Even if we knew, we wouldn't release it, a police spokesperson said. When officers arrived to question the 36-year-old shop owner, the Croatian national allegedly threw a bag stuffed with drugs out the window. It fell into the arms of police officers.
That's great.
Officers confiscated 1.6 kilograms of cocaine, 400 grams of cannabis, and 268,000 euros in cash, as well as expensive watches. So this guy was handguns. This pizza place had handguns.
God.
It had cocaine, cannabis.
Wait, you can get handguns too?
No, I think that was an axe and long blade knives believed to be part of the gang's arsenal. So this
Oh my God, he was a gang member, or he was like the Godfather
pretty
from Germany.
much. 2 days after being released from custody because he had no previous criminal record, the owner reopened the shop and began selling his Blockbuster pizza again, allowing investigators to trace his supply chain. They quickly came upon a violent and unscrupulous prime suspect, Von Moltke, 22 Russian-born mixed martial arts fighter, who was known to police and who. So, anyways, yeah, this guy basically he was just for cartels essentially in Germany. He was slanging fucking pizzas that were apparently really good. So I hope the shop doesn't go under.
Pretty good. It looked better than all the pizza we had in New York.
I guess the pizza number 40. I would imagine that it's like almost like a in and out secret menu item, right? You don't. It's probably not on the menu. And pizza number 40, like there's not 39 other pizzas, right? So it's like if you say pizza number 40, you're in the know. Like it's animal style essentially for all you in and out heads. Like that's wild. Would you ever do cocaine in your younger days? Like you missed I think you missed the train.
Yep.
Yeah, you missed the boat.
Yeah.
Cocaine is one of those
drugs
I never.
Desire to do that now.
Cocaine missed me. Of all the drugs I did do, cocaine just missed me. It was
You know what's sad?
too much of a fuckboy party drug for me, maybe at the time.
You never wanted to?
If it was presented to me, I would have probably. But at the time, it wasn't.
One of your friends' parties at their. I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah, but it wasn't really like offered, and it was kind of like I was out
weird.
of it.
Yeah,
I think you had wind of it more than mine.
Yeah,
I did.
Oh, I was gonna tell you about very disappointing. One of my clients had just went to San Francisco, and she was saying that the homeless like situation is like out of control, and she's like, it's not even just, she's like, homeless people don't bother me, but like it's the fact that they're like
hopped up on cocaine,
shooting up like in public, like right in.
She saw it.
Yes,
Ooh.
and she said like, and they're very like close to you.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of like, I don't mind homeless people, but I want them all up in my business. They come very close to you. And it made her like extremely uncomfortable. And yeah, that just really disappointed me. And that's another, like, shooting up has never been.
No, I like this. I know all about the perils of fucking heroin and all that shit. That is something.
Smoking crack? No thanks.
All that stuff, like cocaine, it seems like a party drug that you can kind of get over. But
I can barely smoke weed.
Yeah. You're lightweight.
So I don't like. I feel like I don't have good. I never had like.
You don't have a high tolerance for
stuff, even
for
alcohol.
Yeah, you don't
I'm
have
like
high tolerance
fucking drunk off of one drink. Yeah, like literally.
Yeah, no, literally, you had a drink in New York and you were like tipsy. Yeah, it's cheap that way. I think you're lucky.
That is true.
It's cheaper that way.
That is very true.
Did we haven't talked about yet the burning story from all like the stuff that gets in my algorithm. The lady who died in the fucking oven of Walmart.
Did you see it? Did you hear about it? Not see it. Oh God,
I didn't see it.
I don't want to see that.
In Canada, in Halifax, right?
Yeah.
And it was a 19-year-old.
The nicest place in the world. The Canadians are so friendly. Why are they trying to?
Well, no, they're not. I don't think the suspicion is it was.
No.
She wasn't pushed in the oven, right?
There is suspicion because.
Uh-oh.
All the stories that I read, you could read what you have there, but the stories that I have read say that the big door to the oven, it's so huge and massive it doesn't close on its own.
Okay, is this kind of like a Cecil Hotel with that lady?
You have to like close it from the outside. I mean, she could try to pull it in from the inside, but. It's just no. Is that her?
That is her. They finally released her picture. It's a bummer. But I also too there was like conspiracy theories around the Cecil Hotel girl who like was in the elevator, the infamous elevator, and they were like, oh, she couldn't close it, but it turned out she actually did, or was open still. So there's a lot of that's the problem. Like you were trying to show me videos of this stuff on TikTok, and I'm like, please. It's so hard to like suss out what the fuck is real and what is not real. Cause I was scrolling and I saw a video, and there was a lady screaming. And they're like, some lady, and they're talking about the story. I was like,
Please
that's
help
not
me.
her.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
it's just
it's
hard to
just
suss out what's
sounds.
true.
They do all of that. Like there's another one of like a woman crying, and it's like they're showing like bombs over like Palestine and all different things like that, and it's like it's not even the sound of that. Like
Yeah, there's just so many videos that are just
that is so horrible. Like I think Walmart should just that location should close down. I think
permanently. It's definitely
I
like
think
cursed.
it's very bad form to eventually open that up again. I'm sorry if a horrific crime happened like that
Treated like
in my
the
shop.
H.H. Holmes Castle.
Yeah, I no. And they have the money. Like it's like it would be harder for like a small business to be like, close and go to a new
Yeah.
location. But Walmart needs to do the right thing. They need to just
I don't know if they'll close. Knowing Walmart, the teen. Let's read, see if we can suss out some of the details that have kind of surfaced since it happened. It's
horrible.
awful. The teen Walmart employee found cooked to death. Oh yeah, inside a walk-in oven has been identified as 19-year-old Gersimran. Excuse me if I'm butchering the name, but Gersimran Kaur. Apologies for that. As it was revealed that she was discovered by her own mother. Ooh.
What do you mean? Just her mom worked there, or they had to get a witness?
Kaur's mom found her daughter's charred remains inside the Halifax, Nova Scotia Walmart large walk-in oven Saturday night, according to GoFundMe set up for her family. The pair worked together at the superstore for the last 2 years. The mom became worried when she hadn't heard from her daughter, who would regularly check in on shifts together for more than an hour.
They both were working the same shift?
It looks like it. Other coworkers believed she was likely helping a customer in the vast store, but the mother became increasingly concerned after Kaur stopped answering her phone, which is unlike her. As her search turned to panic, she opened the oven door after another staff member noticed leakage coming from the area hours later, and she was confronted with a traumatic scene.
Okay, pause. Mm-hmm. The daughter had her phone on her?
You would imagine.
I don't know how hot it got in the oven, but I would.
It's probably the temperatures are extremely high, I would imagine. So once the door closed,
she was done.
You're
melting.
I would imagine it's hard
away.
to do anything on an emergency basis. So it says the nature of Kaur's death remains under investigation by local. It remains unclear if any criminality is suspected. So it's still ongoing. I don't know. I mean,
no words.
they're not private. Walmart's not providing any additional.
No words.
It's awful. I mean, and it's one of those things.
I literally saw this story on TikTok and I was like, this is a fucking joke. Like, this is a lie. This did not happen. And when I fact checked it, I was mortified.
Yeah, it's awful. It's terrible. It's like, it's hard to like, I think that
I don't like, here's the thing. Like, I think if it was suicide, there's a lot easier ways. I'm sorry.
No. I don't think it was suicide. I think it was either accident or some kind of.
But if they said that in a statement, those doors don't just automatically close.
You would imagine there's some safety. That's what I'm saying. It was either
there's
an
a
accident.
Safety precaution for sure. Like, just like the freezers. Like,
she wouldn't have shut it. So it was either an accident in terms of some kind of safety malfunction or something in the door, or there was some kind of suspicious activity where, I don't know.
Can you imagine if somebody accidentally closed her in there, not knowing?
That could have happened. Like, she could have been helping someone, and then like an employee like walked past. Oh, the door's shut, and then like, who knows? I don't know how big this oven is. There's all kinds of things. It seems like it doesn't really feel like something like if someone did that to her, they are truly fucked up in the head. And it doesn't even seem like an act of passion if it's like, I don't know, like it's complete speculation. And I'm not saying this is even something I read, but if it's an ex-lover or something like that, those generally they don't put you in an oven. Like they'll go and grab a handgun and shoot or stab. Like this seems like I would lean towards it being some horrific safety accident or something like that more than someone pushed her in there. Cause that would be, you'd either have to be completely malicious or the hate in your heart would have to be beyond like even like a jealous lover because it would it's such an intense thing. I'm just
trying to like not to think that it was somebody doing that, but I'm just trying to think how it could be an accident though because those doors are so heavy.
There's safety malfunctions all the fucking time. Ugh. It's just there's always like with all that like heavy machinery and that kind of stuff, there's always a chance. Look at Queen Mary, right? The mechanic who, I mean, it was ages ago, right? We have some, we made some progress in terms of safety innovations for all kinds of things. But that the mechanic, he got the door slammed on him. Like that stuff
Chamber
happens.
13? I forget.
Chamber 13.
Isn't that the chamber? Because what they called like.
Oh, where he got the door slammed. Yeah, I forget what it was.
And that it sliced him in half.
Yeah, and we walked past that.
We did
when we were there recently, and I didn't, I
was
don't ever
really
feel
drunk
anything
at that point, but I do feel like I felt like coldness, and some sadness.
You felt a little dizziness. You felt, yeah. Well, sorry to end on a bummer, but this has been an episode of Strange Times. Thanks so much for watching / listening. We appreciate you. Be safe out there for Halloween. Let us know if there's some towns we've missed so far. We're trying to check them all off because I think it's a fun little thing we've started to.
I think Ireland might be a good one too.
Ireland would be fucking fun. That's an international one for sure.
What do they call them? They're not really fairies, but they're called
Irish people.
The Fays, or is that Ireland?
I don't know.
Yes, Ireland and also in Scotland.
I'm American Irish, so I don't know shit about
the Fays.
My ancestors.
I'm a little because I'm very superstitious. The Fays are known to like
Tina Fays.
Yeah, the Tina Fays. Stupid. They're known to like fuck with you, and if you fuck with them, so like taking it even a tour to like I just feel like it's opening up some shit. So I'm down to do it, but it's gonna be that's some real Halloween shit. Scary ass.
Yeah, and maybe one year we could push our Halloween into November, December and do like a Krampus thing. We have a lot of options, folks. We have a lot of options. We're going to explore all of them. We're going to have a good time. But thanks so much for watching, listening. You can find us at on all the social medias at Strange Times. You can email us at strange.times.show@gmail.com. And thanks so much.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too.